Hello, everyone. Last section, we have some impression about ILD through some ILD clinical cases. Now we will talk about the conception and classification of ILD. So interstitial lung disease is a group of acute and chronic diffuse parenchymal lung disease with many important features in common. These disorders are heterogeneous. So new cases was estimated to occur in 32 among 100,000 years in male and 22 among 100,000 years in female. Thus, although less common than lung function, malignant disease, or obstructive airway disease, the ILDs are responsible for a considerable disease burden. Well, over 100 different forms of interstitial lung disease have been described. These diffuse infiltration lung disorders are typically characterized by the presence of inflammation and the outer lung interstitium, and specific forms of ILD can be differentiated from one another when clinical data, radiological imaging, and pathologic findings are combined to reach a confident diagnosis. They share similar clinical manifestation, chest image, pulmonary function test, but the pathogenesis could be quite different. Successful management of patients with ILD is dependent on establishing an accurate and specific diagnosis. So what kind of disease is belonged to ILD? So occupational related ILD, connective tissue disease related ILD, drug-induced ILD, sarcoidosis, vasculitis, LAMP, PLCH, hypersensitive pneumonia, and others. We had to exclude some disease from ILD, such as heart failure, infectious disease, carcinoma, emphysema. So different ILD share the similar clinical features, such as dyspnea after activity, restrictive lung defect, diffuse capacity disease. And in the chest radiography, they have diffuse bilateral shadows. And histopathology show different density of fibrosis and inflammations with or without granuloma and vasculopathy. And the ending of ILD is the same way: diffuse lung fibrosis and honeycombing, respiratory failure, and death. So now we talk about classification of ILD. So there are about over 180 kinds of disease belongs to ILDs. Only 1/3 of the disease could find an accurate etiology. They are occupational, environmental related ILD, connective tissue disease associated ILD, and drug-induced ILD. So the occupational or environmental related ILD, long-term exposure to a number of toxins and pollutants can damage the lung. This may include inhaled inorganic substances such as silica dust inhalation could induce silicosis. Asbestosis fiber inhalation could induce asbestosis, and industrial printing chemicals also can cause ILD. For inhaled organic substance, so you inhale bird proteins, could induce hypersensitivity pneumonitis. So this is silicon dioxide. So workers who inhaled silicon dioxide will develop silicosis. This CT scan for silicosis which showed the big mass lesion in both upper lungs, and you can see high density spot in both lungs. So this is a picture for coal mine. So workers inhaled coal dust could induce coal workers' pneumoconiosis. The CT scan showed the big mass lesion in the upper lungs and bilateral linear or reticular opacities in the lung. So this is a picture for agate processing. Workers inhaled agate dust could induce agate workers' pneumoconiosis. The CT scan is similar to coal workers' pneumoconiosis, which showed the big mass lesion in both upper lungs and bilateral linear reticular opacities in lungs. So for the inhaled organic substance, so pigeon is a kind of lovely bird, but sometimes it's dangerous to human beings. It can cause hypersensitivity pneumonia. We call it pigeon breathing lungs. Patients suffer from tightness in the chest, fever, and the CT scan shows diffuse ground glass density and patchy saddles in both lungs. And other hypersensitivity pneumonia, including red wine maker's lung, sugarcane worker's lung, and mushroom worker's lung, and so on. All these diseases are because of organic substance inhalation, the fungi spores. And another kind of disease is connective tissue disease associated ILD. First of all, is rheumatoid arthritis and systemic sclerosis, systemic lupus erythematosus, that is SLE, and Sjögren's disease, mixed connective tissue disease. All these diseases could induce ILD. So you can see the picture show the swelling of the fingers just like sausage, called sausage-like hands. It's very popular in MCTD. And this picture showed Raynaud phenomenon. When patients exposure to the cold temperature, fingers change color from polar cyanosis to red, which you can find in many CTD. And the picture showed butterfly-like rash in the face, that is SLE. For the drug-induced ILD, they have many kinds. One is chemical drugs. So drugs designed to kill cancer cells, such as methotrexate and cyclophosphamide, can also damage lung. And some heart medicine. Some drugs used to treat irregular heartbeats, such as amiodarone. Long-term usage could induce ILD. And some antibiotics, such as nitrofurantoin and ensombotrol, can cause lung damage. And some anti-inflammatory drugs, such as rituximab, can cause lung damage. And heroin is a very special drug which abused in some people that can arouse ILD. The list of substances and conditions can lead to interstitial lung disease is long. Even so, in some cases, the causes are never found. Disorders without unknown causes are grouped together under the label of idiopathic interstitial pneumonia, and the most common and deadly of which is idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, we call IPF, which is showed urointerstitial pneumonia, we call UIP. And the others are idiopathic non-specific interstitial pneumonia, NSIP, and respiratory bronchiolitis interstitial lung disease, RB-ILD, and declamative interstitial pneumonia, DIP, cryptogenic organizing pneumonia, COP, acute interstitial pneumonia, AIP, idiopathic lymphoid interstitial pneumonia, ILIP. Still, we have unclassifiable idiopathic interstitial pneumonia. And some of them are granulomatosis interstitial lung disease, that is sarcoidosis, Wegener granulomatosis. And some diseases have very low incidence and unique characteristics we call unique entity ILD, such as PAP, LAM, and PLCH. So we focus on the ILD classification in this part. We will take about the pathogenesis in next part. So see you.